Let's see, let's see. Welcome back. This is Filthy Frequency Podcast. Beats stay dirty, energy stays real, and the EDM community comes first. I'm Quackz from Philadelphia.
I'm Creechur in Austin, Texas.
hmm
And I'm Toy Weapon. My name's Ryan. My name is Toy Weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Today's exciting. We're ready. We can't wait to talk to you, Ryan. Today we're going to be diving into booking shows, setting up live performances. We're always going to be talking about motivation. We're going to be talking
Yeah.
about production, and the PLUR community. We also want to, throw in some things about like rules we've learned along the way. Because I know you have your own collective, right, in New York, correct?
Somewhat. We get
Somewhat,
booked
yeah.
in New York. Yeah, we're based out of Bucks County, PA, but
Cool.
we've managed to get our bookings towards the cities, which is really cool. It's been a fun experience.
That's awesome. All right. Well, before we get into that, I just want to recap a little bit of our last episode. Our last episode was great. We had Subhumane, but today we got Ryan, man, and I'm excited because you play some 140 BPM stuff, and it's the Loves and the Underground here. A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
We'll be talking more about personal motivation because you've been doing a lot, especially with your brand. And your music and your vibe is I was enjoying listening to your mix. It was great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, it was great. But we kind of want to ask some questions about you. So first off, yeah, how did you first get into DJing and production?
I grew up around I was a very internet era type kid. Like 7 years old, my mom showed me Pendulum, the drum and bass band out of the UK.
Your mom showed you that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a funny story. I was a little kid and my dad had like an old work phone.
Yeah.
And it had YouTube on it. So like once in a while when we were home and we had the Wi-Fi, I would watch like monster truck crashes because I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
But found one with a drum and bass tune that I just like little kid Ryan just loved. And ever since then, my mom figured out what the song was. It was Pendulum's Propane Nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And I was off to the races ever since. Like I was growing up around Monster Cat, Hasty Network, early era Disciple, early era like Never Say Die.
Yeah.
And like ever since then I was just watching those guys from the record labels on YouTube, and then I was like, "Oh, you can DJ. Like you can produce."
Yeah.
Like it took those chances in high school. Like we had music tech classes, which was cool. And that's where they had Logic Pro. And
oh, really? That's awesome. What?
It was awesome.
I didn't have that. Yeah.
It was the only school computers that had Wi-Fi too. So I would go on YouTube there because it would override whatever school system it was, and I would just look up like how to use the oscillators in Logic. And then ever since then, I had like a very surface level understanding, and I've just been gunning to just jump right back into it as of last year.
That's awesome. Okay. That's how you got started, and that's just the start of something great. But we want to get the story behind Toy Weapon in general. Like, why the name, and how did this project come from?
So the name actually comes from. This is actually really funny. The name actually comes from a really small project I did in middle school.
Oh.
We had this music lesson in middle school where we were able to use the laptop cart that they had, and we played on this program called Mixcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so much fun with it because it was kind of like my first true understanding that like production started there.
Yeah.
And I started making extra stuff on Mixcraft during that class period, and like I got it saved onto my Google Drive. So I had this like really small SoundCloud account called Toy Weapon.
Yeah.
I went under some other names, primarily just like Ryan Poust and DJ Nautical. But I went back
Okay.
to Toy Weapon because it just sounds sick.
No, it is a sick name. I mean, you could do a lot with that, especially the theme of it. That's sick.
I
I
like
mean,
to
yeah,
imagine, yeah.
yeah. Keep going, keep going.
No,
Oh,
you're
that's
good. Like
awesome.
I like to imagine my music selection very much as a toy box because
Oh,
like I listen to a lot of newer music, like a lot of
yeah.
newer drum and bass and all the stuff from that current renaissance. But then I'm also listening to like late stage bro step and like really early like during the rhythm boom in like 2016, like just that era of music really enthralls me.
Okay.
So like I almost kind of try and throw no matter what era or style, I try and blend that into one mix.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. Okay, okay. Now, I mean, and you're bringing this into performances, right? And like, I mean, I assume maybe you've been working on some visuals and stuff for your toy weapon brand. But how have some recent performances or tracks that you've worked on, or even mixes, what creativity did you come from using toy weapon? How did it influence it?
I guess like I definitely like I use the word toyetic with a lot of certain styles of sounds. When like you hear like the song's not meant to be goofy, but like
Yeah.
upon first listen, it sounds a little whimsical. But then it's
Okay.
got this like I feel like Loompa Sketty's kind of a good example of this, where
Okay.
they're very meme-esque,
Yeah.
but like they have a couple of tunes each EP that are like, oh holy crap, they know what they're doing. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're mixing this into like something that really punches. And like when I'm making something, I always like I get super inspired by like super melodic basses and stuff, but then
Yeah.
I want to add like that weaponized, just angry sound, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah, don't we all, right? That angry
Absolutely.
sound.
It's the happy
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love that. I feel like we've been getting a lot of bass music producers submitting as well, right? I mean that's majority of who are around.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, okay. Now, I mean, you already touched about motivation, right? Like that's what's kind of pushing you for your craft, the theme of it. But how do you deal with that even on tough days? I mean, like today, for audiences who might not know, we just had a snowstorm here on the East Coast. And I mean, we're stuck at home. I'm sure some of us are using that time producing. But like on tough days where you can't really get booked, go out, right? Um,
Yeah.
how do you spend your time? Are you just producing, relaxing, ear rest? What you got going on?
Mostly like honestly, I'm just like one of my big things is like one of the big things that even like when my friends were learning DJing and I was learning how to DJ very early was just like loving your music library. And like I find myself listening to music in almost any type of environment I'm put in, whether like I'm stuck in snow or like I'm out on a walk or like even if I'm just kind of hyping myself up to DJ, like I will just like play songs to hype myself up to get ready to do a mix.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome. Yeah,
it just gets
yeah.
you yeah,
I
it gets you in the zone.
I've never
It's
tried that. I'm gonna have to try
like
that.
dude,
That's
like so
awesome.
like cuz I come from like so many different like I come from listening to so many different genres.
Yeah.
Like when I'm outside in the snow, like I can't help but play like Lensman and
Yeah.
like Nushi and like all of that really fun like melodic and sometimes even down tempo like guys like Direct and Mr. Fiji Ouija are like super inspirational to me in terms of like early melodic dubstep, you
Yeah.
know.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's soundscaping, man. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that you did that, and I love that you do that. But I mean, we kind of touched on it on that question, right? We were talking about you doing this for your bookings, for your shows. Now,
Yeah.
can you give us a little insight on how you got your first booking, and did you use that, or did you learn about that listening to a song to pump yourself up later?
Um it's kind of funny because like we got our first booking mainly through kind of creating some noise doing like these really small house parties
Yeah,
and we ended up kind of just going around and we did those parties maybe like every other weekend or something, like I want to say now a year ago or 2 years ago. And what ended up happening was like we went to a show, and one of the bookers at the show recognized us, and because we've like commented on their posts, stuff like that, and they were like, "Hey, actually, would you want to submit something? We would like to book you guys." And we just we kind of sold ourselves as a group, and it worked out because we were very diverse. We are a very diverse group of artists, and
Mm-hmm.
there's
And
so much to offer there.
and you say we as in like you're talking about your collective, because obviously
Yes.
it's not just you, it's all the artists you support and you help out
Yes,
as
the
well, right?
explosion.
Yeah. No, I love that. I'd love to get into, your collective a little bit more as well. But are you talking for them? So like in the
In a
sense,
way, yeah, for
okay,
sure. We
yeah,
we
yeah.
started this together.
Okay, yeah.
Um, like my friend, like I definitely like they're awesome. We
Yeah.
have our one friend Rian with a six. She's got amazing music out right now. Very whimsical, fun, hyper pop stuff. We would She helped host some of our little pop-up events, and they were so awesome because we could get all of us to perform, and she would perform as well. And then like when we got our first shows, like it was no longer like we had to worry about doing
Yeah.
that because we were all kind of going to perform together, and it was
Yeah.
very fun because we all
Oh,
had equal set times and stuff like
yeah.
that.
That's awesome. No, I love that you're taking the collective approach where it's not necessarily you just working on your brand, but everyone's working on their brand together to lift each other up. And like it seems like maybe some things that some people might lack, someone else has that down, right? Just to lift each other up a little bit more, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, can you talk a little bit more about your collective and the dynamic and maybe who's like in it? You don't have to go into too much detail, but like maybe some highlights of it.
absolutely. Yeah, like so we're a very diverse group of artists. So I'm in it. Our friend Reem with the Six has performed with us
Yeah.
several times. She's currently doing her own independent ventures, and she's doing awesome. We have there's Club Wrecker, one of my friends, and then another DJ under the name William Alexander.
That's
He's
awesome.
awesome. And then we have a rapper under the name Success. And they're just great because they
Yeah.
come from so many different electronic music backgrounds. Like they come from electro house,
Yeah.
like Wolfgang Gartner, Deadmau5 4x4 equals 12 album,
Oh,
and like
nice.
Witch House too. So like AG, like not AG Cook, but some AG Cook, but stuff like Crystal Castles, like really
Yeah.
early Crystal Castles and things like that. And they're really into that type of indie. We call it like indie sleaze house, just that like
Yeah. No,
that
that's
era of
awesome.
electro clash and everything.
Got
That
that variety, definitely.
Yeah, that's that variety. So I mean, obviously everyone's doing good, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, you guys book or get booked, individually or together. How does your own booking work, right? Like, do you go out to find new artists? Are artists coming to you for your collective? And how do you approach booking? Do you do it directly? Do you like, I mean, if you see an artist with an agent, or like, do you go out networking?
It's mostly a networking venture right now. Like one thing I like to say a lot is that we're still like level 1, and we
Yeah,
love to aspire to like work with other people and see where those opportunities go, because you end up making new friends and you end up meeting new fans that really love what you play. And like that's kind of how the Up North venture has been. Getting booked in Scranton recently this weekend was great.
that's awesome.
Um,
I didn't even know there
because
was stuff going on in Scranton. That's
and
awesome.
you would never
Wonder
know.
what
That's the
books
Yeah.
there,
crazy
man.
part.
Oh
Yeah, it's
man.
insane because I didn't like my girlfriend was telling me like these groups were starting up in Scranton. Like shout out like 570 Sounds and
Mm-hmm.
like the guys out there and DJ Bombay as well. Like they just were booking up north and booking like some younger artists playing
Yeah.
bass music and the occasional like really big like the occasional like touring guy like
Yeah.
Brain Rat. Like,
Oh yeah,
it
that's
was
awesome.
crazy. Yeah, so we I ended up talking to some of the people there and sending some of my mix work and some of the stuff there. They really liked it, and it was cool because like my girlfriend was like, the only big like electronic music event that happens out there is Elements Festival. So like people out there are like yearning for bass music,
Yeah.
and just like the casual local
Yeah.
awesome just show.
I'm gonna have to drive out there. I didn't know there was anything going on over there. That's crazy.
You should check it out. Definitely.
Yeah.
I have some like there's definitely some clips from the past weekend too. Like there's
That's
some really great
awesome.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to send me that. I didn't. Oh man, because all I know about Scranton is it's the Office, which was not even filmed there. But
I was
you know,
I know.
yeah,
the Electric City.
it wasn't even filmed there. Which that's all I know about Scranton. But knowing that there's a bass scene there, I'm gonna have to look more into it. I mean, that would be interesting to get some of them on this podcast as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like that whole crew up there is doing some really cool stuff, and they just started splintering into like different types of bass collectives, and like it's awesome just what they're doing out there.
Okay.
I kind of want to go and circle back a little bit towards like bookings and so promoters. You are, as a collective owner, you go and you reach out and you notice a lot of new talent. In your opinion, how do you think a new DJ should approach like promoters or venues when they go out and try to network?
I think that's a great question, just because I always ask. So like most of the booking that comes from the Explosion comes from Club Wrecker, and I'm always trying to learn off of him because like he's learning on the job in that way. Where like once we got our first booking in Brooklyn, like it kind of came to him, and we realized like, oh, like you guys kind of have to like manage this.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to like when you're a group of friends and you're playing music and you're just like vibing out to the fact that you can perform it. It's like you don't realize it. You kind of stop yourself at like oh my god, we have to do business, and it's like it's tough because like we all want to, as a group, like we always want to spread the word of our collective through our individual bookings, and that's why like every time he secures a venue whether it's networking, like sometimes we meet the owners of the venues because a lot of the young venue owners in Philly are also DJs.
Yeah.
And they love hearing what upcoming people are working on. So like if you like with the open email submissions and all that stuff, like sometimes it's worth shooting your shot.
Yeah. That's how I got booked out here in Philly when I first moved here. I came over to Philly in August and just sent out some emails, and they hit me up for one of their shows, and that's how I've been like networking. It's really is like just DM. You never know, DM.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And there's always the road bumps too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like whenever you go and you network, you're often fearing rejection. So you don't want to go and ask for anything. You don't even want to go introduce yourself because you don't know what they might think. But at the end of the road, that's what we're here for. We're here to go and throw our name out there, because if you can't speak on it with confidence, then, maybe you should wait a little bit until you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever you go to a show, whenever you get like a booking, let's say in a club, do you have a specific like checklist of gear that you'd want to use? Is it like specific to CDJs? Maybe you're fine with a controller, like an XDJ. Kind of what goes through your head before you go to a show? What kind of equipment do you expect them to have?
So it's weird because like when we started in Brooklyn, we didn't realize how spoiled we were working on CDJ 3000s that were like less than 5 years old. And ever since that booking, I've always kind of walked into every single club being like, there's definitely going to be CDJ 3000s here. So far that has not been the case.
No, it's insane.
Like I have and it sucks because like I have a USB 3.0, like one of the nicer, fancier ones.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work with anything past like I want to say 6 years old.
I see. Oh,
I'll go to some I need to like, yeah. So like now I'm like in the conundrum of like, wow,
Yeah.
I really should just trash this USB because it's not working on these new venues.
No,
But
that's awesome. No, I always I always tell people like be careful with where you play, right?
yeah.
I mean, like some promoters, some venues will have like the best equipment, and then some people get used to that, right? And I call those people like spoiled. Like when I teach people or DJs, I spoil them a little bit, but I always have a talk with them, like even though you're spoiled, you never know what you're gonna play on or what will actually work because you plug in that USB. Sometimes it's like the most archaic equipment, and you gotta like know how to beat match, right? You need to know how to play in 1000s, right? I've
Yes.
I've I've seen that, and and some people are just not prepared for it, and it's one of the biggest conversations I always talk to about newer DJs. Get the fundamentals down, and then try like the newer stuff, like the whole acronym. We talked about it in one of our first episodes, the KISS acronym, like keep it simple, right? Stupid.
Oh yeah.
Like don't use all the effects. Don't use too many crazy things when learning out. Get your transitions down, because if you could do that, you could play on anything, right? Because
True.
yeah, once you get that down, you can play on anything. But yeah, when you're spoiled and then you go to a club where it's like 1000s, oh man, it's the craziest feeling sometimes.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it is.
6 years of DJing on the 400 on the DDJ 400, and you do your first booking, and it's the CDJ 3000s, and you're like, I should look up the buttons of this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's
Whenever
so funny.
I kind of want to kind of talk about the spoiled part, because oh man, I am a hot cue DJ. I love my hot cues. You know, they change everything for me. But I went to go play at this one show at one of the venues here in Austin, and their RX3 did not have functional hot cues, and oh man, that was tough. That was
Yikes.
tough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. That's
Did it have like an FX board? Was it like a? Did it at least have that with like a hotkey
So
section, or was it just like?
it had the hotkey section and all the buttons, but the buttons wouldn't like actually function as a button. It would like rewrite my hotkey, and sometimes my hotkeys wouldn't even load on the page. It was all kinds of weird, like software firmware was messed up.
that's
Oh my
insane.
gosh!
Yeah, it was very rough because like the first channel worked, and then well the first deck worked, and then you go to the second deck and nothing worked, so you had to manually align everything and scroll through the
Dude.
track. And, oh man, it
Yeah.
was intense.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy horror stories of DJs just being like, dude, like they set me up, man. Like obviously they didn't, but yeah, it's insane.
Oh my gosh! My venue nightmare was we were getting consistently booked at this
Yeah.
venue in Brooklyn, and they actually were a chain, and they had this other venue that they were like, hey, we have this extra night on like a Thursday if you guys
Yeah.
want to show up. And we were like, screw it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we show up, and they just said we asked what type of equipment they had, and they just said CDJs. And this is the same
Oh.
place this is the same chain that has CDJ 3000s in a pair. So I was like, okay, cool,
Oh
maybe it's a pair.
no.
Get this. CDJ 900 on one side,
Oh no.
CDJ 700 on the other side. And then the mixer was a DGM 750.
That's crazy. Oh man, they set you up.
It was crazy. Needless to say, a show did happen, but like,
yeah,
it was-
definitely.
it-
You got to work with what you got, right? I mean that's the biggest thing. You got to work with what you got. But yeah, no, sometimes that happens to you. That's why I always tell everyone to be prepared. Be prepared. You never know what you're playing on, especially in the underground. Obviously, the more mainstream you go, like it's always gonna be 3000s. But like, yikes! No, yeah, in the underground, you never know what you're playing on. Never know. It's insane. But you know, I we'll talk more about some horror stories as well. But like, I mean, we talked about horror stories, but what are some things you've never forgotten at a show, right? Or a gig, right? No, we talked about the negatives. I want to bring in some positives, right?
I think genuinely like one of the biggest things I've realized is actually how much my selection in a mix kind of matters and how that the crowd reacts to it.
Yes.
Because like when coming from like one region of PA and then just being like this group that goes up in Brooklyn, like it's you kind of don't know what to expect at first. And you kind of I think like my first instinct is like play what I know. Like I love modern, like I love really deep halftime and like that really deep
Yeah.
rhythm stuff. And then
Yeah.
I also love like that high tech, like supersonic drum and bass style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough because like when you want to stick to that, you expect to get like to bring people in right away.
Yeah.
But it's like no, it's kind of like you have to select something in rhythm, you know?
No, it's one of the biggest things I talk to people about too, you know. Uh Reading the crowd is super important. I mean, in general, regardless of what kind of DJ you are, you should be reading the crowd, right? It's why I have so many different types of music on my USBs. I always talk to people like I never like I don't get it. Maybe people who someone will be able to explain it to me one day, but it's really hard for me to have such um uh, a set list. Uh, like I can't remake my set list so strictly where it's like I know what I'm playing back to back. Like it just doesn't work out for me that way.
Yeah.
Like you have to play it off of like the crowd. Like I never know what song I'm playing next until I'm actually playing. And it's something important for DJs to know and learn because it's like if a crowd is just not like having it with this song or this style, you gotta switch it up, you know, like you're there to perform, create that energy, right? And I mean obviously you got to keep in a consideration of the venue owners and who booked you, right? But but at the same time, right, like it's your job to have that audience entertained and moving and enjoying their time there. And it's important, right?
Oh yeah, because like you can go from like I'd love to try and like I want to at least have under my belt that I've mixed every genre.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to like have that type of versatility, but it's so tough because when you want to play for a show, you think about it's weird because you don't want to like it's not like selling out. It's more so you want to think for the sense of your audience of being like, what does my audience expect from me? You know? And you want to be able to be authentic in yourself with that set list, but also like authentic in giving the audience the rhythm and groove that they look for, you know? That's big.
Because there's always artists that are like, no, I'm playing this no matter what, or like, oh, this song has to come after this song no matter what, and it's like, come on,
yeah,
like, come
like
on,
some
right?
people, like they got those grounded like DJ-isms where it's like it's not like a good or bad habit, but it's like those habits that you just consistently have, like hard cutting tracks. Like I used to have a really hard time just like hard cutting from certain phrases.
Yeah.
And now like I've learned how to fade that tune out. And like sometimes you'll hear someone like doubling their tunes and then they hard cut out into something and you're like, oh, I just recognized that.
Yeah. The more you DJ, the more you recognize certain aspects they do, right? It's always that meme of like the DJs going and listening to the headliner or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, they messed up or something," right?
It's just like those videos sometimes. Like my after like my girlfriend she's Bass Angel. She's great. She's getting like that now when we're at shows where like she's been mixing for about a year and like a quarter now, and she will like go to a show and she'll be like, wait, they just changed the tempo of that. I can tell. And I'm like, okay. We'll just be talking back and forth. Yeah. It's too funny.
No, it's so true because like you can really nitpick, right? But then at the same time, like there are some people that do techniques that are very subjective. It's like, oh man, like this might be controversial saying this on the on the podcast, but I really hate spin backs. You know, like I hate spin backs. I mean, like having one in the set is okay, but it really kills the mood. It kills like the energy that was happening, right? Like I get it. I get the appeal from it, but like that's like one thing that's just like I don't know. There's definitely a specific way to do spinbacks that sounds decent, but like I think everyone just does it to do it, you know?
Yeah. No, I've been hanging around a lot of rhythm DJs lately, and they
Oh
do a
no.
lot of spinbacks, and
Get
like,
canceled by the rhythm
oh
DJs.
man. And I went on the stage and I was playing my thing and I kind of got tired of the song I was playing. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spin it back. And I did it that one time and then it was good. It was good. It worked out fine. People went like woo, everybody
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah.
And
Well, you
then
need to know your
I
audience. That goes
no no
back
no no no.
to
There's
oh
more
no.
to it.
Oh
There's more to it.
no.
And,
Go
I- and
ahead.
Uh-oh.
and like 2 songs later, I was playing another song and it was a flip of like the like an old 80s flip. And I let the drop play, I let the chorus play, and then I spun it out again. And I hear somebody in front of the audience, just like right next to the booth, goes like, every goddamn time. He was mad. He was like, it's the best part of the song. He just spun it out and he just left. And I was like, damn, I made that guy
You know,
mad.
that was actually
Oh,
me. That was me standing there. No, no, but really, like it's like stuff like that you notice or people do the tendencies. You really catch on to them the more that you do DJ. It's very interesting. Um, got anything else to add, Ryan?
It's just an appreciation for the craft, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes it comes off as nitpicky, but then other times like
Sometimes, yeah.
you gotta like ground yourself and be like, nah, I'm judging this because I'm a DJ too.
Yeah.
And I really like what they're doing and I want to be able to like pick out what they're doing so that I know that like whatever I'm trying is at least in the right memo.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. All right, we're gonna bring in switch topics real quick. I want to talk a little bit more about the music industry in general, tech news. You produce your own music, right? So like,
Yeah, just
I
started.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. We'll be talking about some plugins and your journey through that as well. But I mean, I think last episode we were talking about some plugins that were coming out with a lot of AI assistance and our opinions on that. But I
Yeah.
mean, today, I mean, we got some new news about Waves in Trigger. It's an intelligent drum replacement plugin, obviously using AI again, but it
Oh.
replaces like it helps with speeds of workflow to give natural drums without having to manually edit every drum in the track, which I don't know how I feel about that, but like at the same time, like maybe it'll work. I haven't tried it. It would be nice to check it out and see. And then obviously there's a couple new decks that are out. The Pioneer Alpha Theta DJM. It's a compact 3-channel mixer, right? With built-in
Nice.
wireless monitoring. It's kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. And then there's a Reloop Flux Go compact USB DBS interface. It's with Serato DJ though, so it's not.
Okay,
It's
so
yeah.
you got the Serato, but Serato's got the good stems though. That's the
Yeah,
cool thing
yeah,
about
they
Serato.
they do, they do. I can't argue with that. And then we already talked about Fender Studio, formerly known as Studio One, updating their DAW and amp effects and workflow. So I just wanted to talk about that and then move on to which gear or tools actually help you perform for your performance and also like production. Like, how is it? What do you use?
I one of my favorite things that I've learned about growing up with under like rhythm and drum and bass is that like one thing that really inspired me about like the rhythm boom in 2016 was realizing how pulled back it got
Yeah.
from like a production standpoint. And I mean that in like the nicest way possible. Like just something that went because like bro step was very complex at the time.
Oh yeah.
Like guys were using metal drums, ambient noises.
Yeah.
Some guys were drawing from like hip hop, rap, and just straight up like reggaeton. For the groove and rhythm and
Yeah.
FX. And it's like when you get to rhythm, it takes all of that out and it just focuses on impact, rhythm, and groove. And it's just like, I always got really into that when I was producing because I would want to find like the most unique pattern
Yeah.
or like sound, you know, like you work on that one sound for like ever, you know, you want to apply
Yeah,
as
definitely.
much to it as possible
Yep.
without like going overboard or blowing out the mixer, you know?
Yeah, no,
So
100%. Okay. I mean, any specific plugins that you use? That's
I
your
like
favorite?
Serum.
Oh, you
I've been
like Serum?
really,
You've been using Serum?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I've been just like, because one of my things was like, I really loved the, I think it's called the ES1 on Logic
Mm-hmm.
Pro when I was in
Yeah.
high school.
Okay.
That was like that's how I learned how a plugin worked.
I see.
So
Okay.
when I was watching like Virtual Riot and stuff, like show people what Serum looked like growing up, like I was like, oh, if I just look at this now, what does it look like now? And I look at it now and they have all these crazy functions. They
Yeah.
have like the new LFO layering
Oh yeah,
and like
the
wave
Serum 2.
cables.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Like, and it's fun because of like that really big wave of dubstep through the 2010s, like people love Serum now. It's used for every single genre. Like you
Yeah.
finding guys in like the jump up scene that are doing like stuff solely off of Serum. And like even like I remember going through like sample packs I had, and Samplifier made like a whole techno tune using a note. And I
Yeah.
was just like, that's insane.
Yeah, no, it is insane. I feel like Serum has been such a staple in the industry as well. Like it's become like almost a standard to use.
Yeah.
And it's I mean I love to see it, you know, good on them, and I love the free update for Serum too. So I mean I'm not complaining, you know. I'm
But
not
hey, like
complaining.
Vital's out there too.
Yeah,
Like Vital's
Vital's
great.
free. Yeah,
My
Vital's
friends
free.
love Vital.
Yeah.
Like that is their big thing. Cause they were looking at Serum and they were like, this is dope. But
Yeah.
like I told them, I was like, there's a free kind of
Yeah.
plugin like this called Vital. And they were
Yeah.
and a couple seconds, like I a couple days later, like I was giving my friend like a crash course on like
Yeah.
how to mess with the LFOs and stuff. And like
Mhm.
he was like, oh, this is sick.
Oh yeah, and I feel like a lot of the synths are pretty similar. Obviously, some have better latency and processing, or just effects in general, but it's relatively the same, right? And
Yeah.
Vital's really good for being free and has a lot of options. And there's a lot of tutorials out there, you know. You got to pick and choose which tutorial you listen to, but majority
True.
of the time, like it's really good. There's a lot of information for it, as well. And I mean it that leads into like our next question of like, are the new toys worth the investment? Like, are the new toys worth the investment? And I mean, do fundamentals matter more? Because like, I mean, if you know how to, you know, FM from one bass to the other, you can do that in any other synth, right?
Yeah. I guess it depends too. Cause like with like man, like being such a fan of so many different producers, it's crazy because you see like a guy like Nosphere who
Yeah.
like will bring down a tutorial and he'll show you how to do drums and you're like, wow, I really that wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then like you go and look at like how he does bass and he makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me because like I'll work on that and then like I will come out with something through like I'll instead of following the tutorial by sound, like
Yeah.
I'll just follow it by method and then just reapply different sounds to
Yeah.
it.
That's
And
a
like
really good
sometimes I'm
method,
just
yeah.
like, ugh, like how do I get so strung up because it's like samples, theorem, MIDI, like is this all ethical at the same time? Like
Yeah. No, it's really important that you brought up that fact of like, you're not necessarily copying it entirely, right? You're using it as a guideline, and that also brings me back to like using reference tracks in your production, right?
yeah.
Because it's really important to, you know, use something as a guideline, but necessarily use your own, you know, knowledge and experimental like energy to create your own sound. That's ultimately how you get your own signature sound, and like find, what works with you and what you actually like, because I mean, some people will like copy other people's style, and it's like it's nice and all, but it's also not different, and that's how you grow as an artist and find your sound. Obviously, um, it's also good to, be on par with with some artists that you might look up to, right? But,
Yeah.
ultimately you wanna kind of make your own lane as well, right?
Yeah, like it's tough too because you don't want to end up even in the learning process of producing, you don't
Yeah.
want to like just slightly modify a reference track and then just be like, "Wow, that was something I did myself." You want to
Yeah.
like be able to do it piece by piece.
Yeah.
And that gets tough when you want to look at like certain genres too.
Yeah.
Like you look at dubstep and you want to like maximize that atmosphere and that impact and everything. But then you look at like drum and bass and stuff, and then you have to maximize the like originality of your percussion and like how the rhythm works. And it's like every genre has its own focus. And I feel like when I'm inspired, it's hard to like I want to focus on one genre at a time, but I end up getting into that like let's fusion everything.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I feel like with a lot of updated production tools, it really changes the workflow as well. Because I mean, you have a lot of knowledge of like the older plugins, older synths, or like how Serum used to look and where it came
Yeah.
from, and the idea. But like nowadays, there's so much support for people to learn, right? Like, what do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I feel like nowadays it's so much more accessible, but I feel like with that accessibility, you almost kind of have to pick and choose the best tutorial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like I feel like recently I was learning just how to do different drum and bass rhythms and how to just like enunciate the percussion. And even just trying to apply that in a rhythm sense too, so that like when I'm putting cymbals down, it's not like someone's smashing their drum set, you
Yeah.
know? And it gets difficult because like I want to learn so much from them, from whoever's teaching me, but sometimes I feel like when especially here's the major difference I've seen now from this era and the early era when like people were still figuring out like how maximalized like you can get your production,
Yeah.
where like nowadays it's so like people kind of have Ableton, FL Studio,
Yeah.
Logic Pro as kind of like almost a second sense. Like they
Yeah.
can just like really quickly click and move through it. And those tutorials go so fast where it's like, wow, holy crap, this is not,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't even know what menu he got to here.
Yeah.
So like, and it sucks because like I'm a very visual learner.
Mhm.
So like, when I watch someone do it so quickly, I'm just like, I immediately go, I wish I knew those buttons right away.
Yeah.
Like, but back then it was literally like step by step where to click. Nowadays it's a little bit more automated, which is
Yeah.
great, honestly, because now I feel like each video I watch, I can like pause and click and pause and click and just like take
Yeah.
each step for advice. And it's really useful now.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it just gets faster the longer you've been doing this, right? Because I mean, you
Yeah.
get better, you get faster at following these tutorials. So I mean, ultimately, I mean, they do help out. I save a lot of YouTube videos or shorts, and I always go back to them later, like I sometimes I need a day to think about like, oh, what did they actually do? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's and then sometimes I even because of it, I come up with my own like techniques, and it's like a variation of it, and it's like, oh man, it's helped me so much when it comes to that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean that leads into our best practices, right, in production, and we wanted to talk about that. Like, what are some practices you've done when it comes to, starting a track or workflow?
Side chaining my cymbals.
Oh, right, like right away, right?
Literally anything. Yeah, anything that I want, like anything that I know, because like one of my biggest things was like
Yeah.
middle of high school. I also became a drummer.
Okay.
Um, I was really big on the drum set, and I would love to cover certain house songs and rhythm songs like on the drums. And like when I started trying to go back, and when I started learning production, like I got so inspired by like how many different cymbals someone can produce.
Yeah.
Leo Trix has this like sword clang cymbal that is like so freaking cool. And it's so cool when you want to use all that, but then you are learning the basics of buckling it down and making it so it's a part of a drum set, not like everyone's individually hitting the instruments.
Yeah.
And like that's a big part, is definitely the percussion, is just how getting that tightened for me.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So that kind of bleeds into my question. We all kind of think that side chaining and making room in the EQ is all mixing. Do you mix as you go in your song, or do you wait until your arrangement's done?
That it honestly comes down to genre. Like when I'm doing dubstep and like rhythm and I'm trying to get like that punch and that movement, I always end up kind of like second guessing myself, and I apply like I'll do a little bit of glue compressor, and then I'll do like a little bit of saturator and maybe like
Yeah.
OTT if I need some echo in my vocals or something.
I see.
But it gets to a point where like I need to kind of stop myself, because I want to be able to listen to the finished project and then go, okay, I see what sticks out here. This needs to be turned down. This can be turned up. It's all kind of a mixed bag of like adding it as I go and
Yeah.
then adding more on the final product.
No, that makes
Sure.
sense. Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to lead into this next one. It's like, we talked about mixing, and I want to see what's a practice that changed your sound quality. Like, what kind of made it sound like you?
Actually, that's a great question. I one of the biggest things that I actually took for like my definitely the one of the things I ingrained mentally when I was mixing and like learning how to improve my mixes was actually like pro wrestling advice. One of the number one like backstage advices that like WWE officials give: slow down your matches. And that's kind of what I do when like I'm mixing, is sometimes I just slow down what I'm doing, because
Okay.
I get so excited by what I'm playing. Like I love my library so much that like sometimes just opening it with a tune I've been listening to all week just gets me like that's my Red Bull for the morning, you know?
Awesome.
So it gets to one of those points though where like you get so excited that you're just like you're chopping everything, you're
Mm-hmm.
throwing things out of key, you get a little ahead of yourself, and then you have to be like, all right, I gotta slow this down. I gotta make this
Yeah.
transition work. This needs to be meticulous.
That's awesome. So you'd say you use a lot of elements in all of your songs to kind of fit them all together. And all of that, like, how do you keep all your sessions organized? Like, I know that looking at all of that unorganized stuff can, take away a lot of creative, oh my God, creativity out of you. So how do you avoid the creative fatigue?
It's mostly it's mostly through actually seeing it's funny, I'm going to say it this way, it's more so through learning what my friends have seen with my library, because I've
Mm-hmm.
I've been collecting music for so long that like now that I DJ, that it's like with DJing for so long I have like 20,000 songs to work with. And
Yeah.
it's like crazy, because you want to be able to sort your stuff out and be able to play the things that you've been listening to for so long. And sometimes it just comes down to like what I'm into that week, you know? It could
Yeah,
be like, oh wow, I've been listening to like a lot of glitch hop and then like neuro step or something like that. And then I'll just kind of center my vibe on what I've been listening to that week, you know?
that's awesome. That's really awesome. Oh man. So now we're gonna kind of go and move on to like our rules to live by whenever we produce. Like anything that we do while we produce isn't like a ritual. Do you have a template with like specific plugins loaded up? Do you,
Light a
as Quack
candle.
said,
Yeah.
light
Light a
a
candle.
candle? Yeah,
My first this is such a funny, I feel like this is such a funny way to repeat the answer, but like my first thing is going through like symbols. It's just like
Oh yeah,
looking
yeah.
at the drum set. Like there's something about being like a like just so inspired by the percussion that like I'll just go and just be like, what's the hardest beat I can make using these four drums?
Mm.
And then like I'll
Mm.
just like
That's
super
good
groove with
too.
it. And then like boom, I'm like, oh, foundation. I love it. So like
Yeah.
I'll just be like moving on from that point.
Okay, okay. I like that. I like that, you start with the drums and then like you pick specific and limit yourself to explore those like creativities with those specific drums because like I feel like a lot of people get caught up in like using the same things over and over. I'm
Yeah.
pretty I do that a lot with my drums. Uh and like occasionally I'll change my drums here and there, but like ultimately like I have certain kicks, certain snares that I just really like that I just know work really well. And I mean obviously you could tell like which track is mine because I mean the style and like the drum kits that I use. But like ultimately, like I like that you're looking out of the box and it also helps with your creativity because it's like, oh, how can you use that cymbal or how can you use that drum kit in a different way? Especially with your background of being a drummer, it definitely helps, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely helps, but how about professional behavior? Right, like rules to live by. I mean, we have productivity rituals for like production, right? I mean, I sometimes I like lighting a candle or using a diffuser, right? But like when it comes to rituals for professional behavior with venues and promoters, what does that look like?
Most of the time, especially at this level, just honestly, and I feel like this is such a cliche way of saying it, but like just saying please and thank you to the guys that do it for you,
Yeah,
like it's always important, especially because like when we got our first opportunity, it was something we didn't even expect. Like we just kind of shot our shot and they were like, "Okay, in March you guys are playing." And we were
yeah,
like, "No freaking way. Like this is awesome."
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like no matter like how bad it gets, sometimes you kind of have to like even if it's just like the worst show you've ever played, you just have to like swallow your pride and just be like, I am so glad I'm here.
yeah,
Like this
yeah.
is
You gotta be
so sick.
respectful, right? Respectful to the crew, the sound engineers, the crowd as well. Like the crowd is part of it too. Like that
Yeah,
whole entity, the whole environment that you're being brought into, right? You gotta be respectful, right?
absolutely. Just
Yeah,
like loving the fact that the scene, like just coming from PA, and maybe
yeah.
you get this too, where it's like it's so tough because PA is like it's a really big stalwart for like dubstep and
Mm-hmm.
rhythm and everything. And there's so many different bookers because like there's still house scenes out here
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And even like that type of even like in Philly is a great example. Like they still have that type of lounge club aesthetic
Oh
where
yeah. We'll be
day
getting
nights are a
some
little
house
bit
people.
different.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's one of those things where you just got to appreciate the fact that they even open the doors for you.
Yeah.
And hoping that hey, if it does work out and the show goes great, like you start a great relationship with a promoter that really wants to have you again,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's always like that's the token in your pocket every time.
Yeah. Yeah, being respectful. I feel like that's one of the biggest rules in the music
Of
industry
course.
because I always tell people like the world is small, right? Just don't be a dick because everyone in the industry knows each other, right? It's
Yes.
a smaller world than you think, right? And word gets around really quickly, and it's insane how fast it travels.
Oh yeah.
Yep, definitely. Okay, let's continue that because I want to go into rules as an artist, right? What's one rule you'll never break as an artist?
Um. That's such a great question because I feel like I feel like there's so many do nots
Yeah,
in that are like easy. Like
yeah,
like
yeah,
don't be a jerk. You don't want
yeah.
to
Don't
be
be a jerk. Yeah,
don't be like actually I'll be honest, one thing I do need to work on is being proud of the work no matter what it is. Cuz like no one I've realized that like, one of the things is like mixing and performing is an art at the end of the day.
yeah,
So if you end up like if you're coloring outside the lines or like your pen strokes misses the paper, like that's just a part of the performance. Like everyone's going to make a mistake when you do that.
yeah,
But then you get so caught up that it's like, wow, I ruined my whole set. And it's
yeah,
like
Yeah, you
Like,
can't let that bring you down completely, right? You gotta.
yeah, because then it brings everyone else down, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because then, like, you talk with your DJ friends and you're like, wow, I really wish I could have done better. And they were like, dude, you did great.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you
You
did
gotta keep
awesome.
the energy up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like in a way that it's kind of disrespectful to them whenever you go and do that, because in a way, if they're there and they're talking to you after that and telling you you did a good job, they support you, and in a way they look up to you.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing that like I'm definitely trying to practice better because I'm always a stickler about like what I do,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
we all
Like
are, right?
yeah, like we're
Yeah,
always trying to improve, you know? So
yeah,
like it's I'm trying to like it's better to try and internalize that as part of a practice rather than just being like, "Wow,
yeah,
that sucked. I want to do better."
yeah. No, that
Yep.
makes sense. Uh, yeah, no, I love that. I love that, you bring that up because I feel like it's not just us that struggle with that, because I mean, I'm overly critical of my craft. And I mean, everyone's critical of their craft, and it really gets to people, and that's super important to get out, like be proud of what you've done, like you can have short-term goals, right? Like be proud
Yeah.
of those short wins, right? Obviously you want to try your hardest in every opportunity, like even if you're playing to a crowd of what, like two people, like you should still be trying your hardest.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
it's like regardless, you're gonna put in that effort, which brings it down to discipline and like effort as an artist, right? Like regardless, you're gonna bring that 100%, right? And I mean, it really distinguishes between the difference between like artists who want to get better and artists who are just there,
Yeah.
So I mean that's a good thing to bring up. Um, but we don't have too much time left, so I want to bring up a couple things before we do run
Yeah.
out of time. Because I mean, obviously, thank you for your time. You've been great. We love your insight, and we love
Of
what you're
course.
doing in the
Thank you for
community.
having me,
Yeah,
man.
of course, of course. We love what you're doing for the community with your collective, and sharing your music with us, and your insight on the industry. But with that, we want to talk about any PLUR moments, any memorable PLUR moments that you've had, out in the community. Obviously, you've talked about your peers supporting you and the collective lifting each other up. But any PLUR moments, random acts, or like just advice for finding community, within the EDM scene.
One of the I guess one of the cool things is just realizing like how connected all producers and DJs are from
Yeah.
just being like fans of each other,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? Like
So true.
like shout out my friend Oath. He's awesome.
Hmm.
We have a very similar taste of like drum and bass and like higher tempo stuff. So I'll go to him when it comes to like mixing and ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's fun because one moment I remember one time like we were just messing around on a mix on an XDJ and we were just recording a mix.
Yeah.
And then like next thing you know, like one of the guys one of the a DJ out in Florida, DJ Corsa, he was like, "Hey, that sounded sick. You guys want to like do a mix?" And we were like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
What? And like it was cool because like we ended up talking with like a completely different region of artists that were super big fans of bass music and
Yeah.
drum and bass and dubstep and all this stuff. And it was cool because like I mean like when you're at this level of production and DJing and you see people from across the country, you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is sick. Like this is so cool. We're so connected."
Yeah, no, that I love that. I love that. That's even like it's such a well-known thing too, in the industry. It's like the world really is small, and I know I keep saying that, but like it really is. It really is. Oh man.
It's fun when you realize people like the people that produce and DJ are also fans. Like I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
that's so plur. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's a very plur moment in the sense of like
Yeah.
I've always looked up to guys like Dead Mouse and Skrillex and
Yeah.
Wolfgang Gardner and stuff like that. And it's crazy because you see there's that like idolatry to it where it's
Mhm.
like, wow, these people are like huge. But then like you reach out to someone that you really like their music, and they're like, "Hey, that's like super dope." Like,
Yeah.
and they check out your stuff, and it's like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Oh yeah, no. Some big artists, they're so down to earth, and they'll talk to you. You know, I mean, I'm not condoning just DMing any any artist out there, but
Sure, yeah.
but
Don't be harassing people.
yeah, but like at the end of the day, they are just people, and majority of them are super cool, and like I mean, they'll give you the time, and you know, like just be nice to them. You know, then they're really cool people.
Yeah, like it's been like I've always had like just going up in the online age. Like I don't want to take up your time. The
No, you're
like
good.
I love like I remember listening to this one tune I was a big fan of, this Alex Perez tune called Missing Pieces. And for some reason, like it was just kind of that height of music where there's not really any lyrics,
Yeah.
but there's a singer singing on it.
Okay.
And the singer's name's Javion. And it was awesome because I remember commenting on a mix that had that song playing, like, I've been really needing to find the lyrics of this tune. Lo behold, Javion actually DM'd me and said, "Hey, I saw your comment. I can paste these because all my lyrics are in my notes. I'll just paste the screenshot." And I was like, "You're a lifesaver. I've been wanting to like sing this tune in the car for like years."
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. No, I mean that really is how it is, you know. Everyone's literally just being homies. But
Yeah, it's so cool.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Do you have anything else to add? We are out of time. But do you have anything else to add before we do go? Um in general
Uh,
about the scene or any special shout outs you got?
New releases coming
Yeah,
out.
any new
Any
releases?
oh,
Want to plug
yes.
anything?
We have me and Oath just released our mix today.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
out on Ignition. It's out on the Ignition Music Teams platform on SoundCloud.
Okay, okay.
It is awesome. It's got a lot of drum and bass and drum steps, so it's a little bit different.
Nice. Okay,
But
okay.
there's a lot of really cool old school blends and some really fun original work in there, and a tune I've been working on that hopefully will get
Yeah.
a release soon. Working on it, but it'll
That's
be my
awesome.
official production debut at that point.
Perfect. That's awesome. All right. Well, I mean, I'll be sending you a submission form so we can, you know, put that as a post as well for you guys. But yeah, I
Yeah,
just wanted to thank you for joining us, giving us your time.
of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
Seriously, it's an
course.
honor.
It has been an absolute blessing to have you here. So, we talked about booking, we talked about your collective, we talked about live setups, productions, PLUR, and we're gonna close out this episode with a live mix from Toy Weapon.
Yep, yep.
Stay
It'll
filthy,
it'll
guys.
be the next it'll be linked.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it'll be
the link
linked.
to all Toy Weapons socials will be posted on Instagram as well. Make sure to go check that out. Check out the new releases and stay in touch. Stay
Yeah,
filthy.
yeah.
Oh
Stay
yeah.
filthy. Oh yeah.